Welcome, everybody, to Brunch with Bobby. We appreciate you joining us today once again. Really excited today. We have special guest Matthew Smith, Head of National Business Development for RealNext, to talk about BOVs, offering memorandums, and whatever else might come up in the question box. But the feature of the day is BOV and OMs to help you win business and to position your assets most effectively for sale. On Thursday, we have Dave Monroe. We had a switch. Dave's on the CCIM, one of the CCIM committees. They had a call scheduled for today, so Matt's picking up for Dave, and Dave's going to pick up for Matt. So Dave's pretty excited about doing the deal room and running an accelerated sales process on Thursday. So another busy week with great value to take advantage of as we go through this cycle at home. Hopefully we've got a lot of the worst behind us. It seems like the curve is flattening. Things are starting to open up slowly and carefully, and hopefully it won't be long before we're all back to work, but having taken good advantage of this window of time to hone our skills on the RealNext tools and our systems and processes so that we can service our clients even better than ever before. So Matt, really excited to have you. Bobby's here in the background. Say, hey guys, and we're ready to answer your questions as they come in. Matt will take us through the first part of the session, queue up your questions, and we'll poll them towards the end and make sure we cover as much as we can. So with that, we will turn it over to Mr. Smith. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate that, and it looks like a lot of familiar faces on this call here today, and we're really happy. I'm really excited to be on here with Brunch with Bobby. I wasn't expected to be a guest, and I'm honored to be on here with everybody. So today we're going to be walking through broker opinion of value, and we'll be talking about marketing packages. Throughout this presentation, if anybody has any questions, you do have Mr. Brunch himself, Bobby Babis. He is on the call here with us. He'll be able to answer some questions, field them out, and then, if he wants to, he can always interrupt me, and I'm happy to go over some of these questions live for you. So we want this to be as interactive as possible, so let's get started. To log in, realnext.com, log in the upper right-hand corner, LinkedIn, Google, Windows. I'm sure you're all familiar with how to log in. One of the things that a lot of folks have been asking me lately is, can I access this on an iPad and search listings? Can I access this on an iPad and go into CRM? Can I access this and go into the MarketEdge program? And the answer is yes. We do have a mobile app for the CRM program, so if you're using Core, you can access it in a mobile app. We do not have an official mobile app for the MarketEdge, which we're going to be covering today. However, everything is responsive. So what that means is it's going to contour to your screen of your iPad. So if you want to follow along on your iPad, you can do so. I don't recommend doing it on your phone. It's probably going to be way too small, but you can access this information from your tablet. Over in the left-hand corner, you'll see the little hamburger up there in the left top. Open that up, and we're going to focus on investment tools. Now remember, if you're using our other solutions, there is a full integration piece. So if you need to bring this over from a Marketplace, I see a lot of Marketplace subscribers on here as well as Core. This does integrate into this portion. Once you're inside the MarketEdge, you're going to see your filters here on the left-hand side. And then through the center, you'll see new property. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to see some stuff like request support. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. But one thing I do want to reiterate is the guide me's. Some of the things that we're going to be going through, or most of the things we're going through today, will be available in the guide me to walk you through. Each one of these, by clicking on the first one, like create new property, it'll walk you through step by step how to create it. So if you've never been in commercial real estate before, you can put together a whole marketing package with the proper information by following a guide me. If you have any questions that aren't able to get answered on this call, you're welcome to email me offline, Bobby and stuff as well. The
Matt,
first thing we want to do is...
You have a little static coming through, so I'm not sure if there's a headset or mic that you can get a little
Is this better?
I think that's a little bit clearer. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll have this picked up here. So if everybody can hear me, that'd be fantastic. So we have a couple ways to bring in our property information. That can be done with a core program. So if you're inside core, just click on Analyze under a property. It will bring that information in just like it did here for me. Once that property information is in here, then we can go ahead and create that broker opinion of value. Same thing as if you have a property inside of Marketplace, you can hit Analyze and it will bring that property information in. If you do not have a property in there and you're starting from scratch, you can simply come over here and hit New Property. From here, pick a property name. The next one's really important, and this is one that people ask a lot of questions for, is property type. What do I put for property type, Matt? It's a commercial property. Don't I just put commercial? Well, you don't. And the reason you don't is because it might be a multifamily property, and that's really the key we want to look at. These other ones here, I think, are just for categorical purposes. So, I mean, I don't use them for anything else besides that, to make sure I know that I have retail or land or shopping center, so I can filter out that information. But multifamily is important. So I had a gentleman yesterday had a question about doing self-storage, and he wanted to put everything in as if it was a multifamily property, but he had it under commercial. So what does this do? This is either going to show the unit mix, or it's going to show your rent roll information. So if it's multifamily, or you want to have units, then put in multifamily. If it's going to be straight commercial, then you just commercial. There's a couple other things you can do to change inside it, but just keep that in mind. If you go in there and you see a unit mix and you need to put in the rent roll, just change it over to commercial. From here, you can put a price in. You do need to input something, so typically $1. The address location, you can just type in that address, and it does pull from Google addressing for you. So if you're a bad typer like me, and hit save. Once you hit save, that'll populate that information in here for your general information. From here, you can decide to put as much information as you want. Again, we might want to do a streamlined broker opinion of value. You'll probably end up doing more broker opinion of values in the next 2 to 3 months than you have in your whole career. Any additional property information or property details, this information might be good for like the front cover page. So again, you can decide what information you put in here. Now, all this information doesn't necessarily show up. It just depends on what field you have selected. So what's important to you to maximize that valuation on that property. Same thing with property descriptions, overview, and location overview. This is important information when you're creating that broker opinion of value. Bobby, as we get questions throughout, you're welcome to interrupt me at any point in time. If you need me to unmute you, I can definitely do so. I probably should do that anyway. Sorry, actually, you're self-muted. So if you need to interrupt me at any time, yeah, interrupt me anytime, and I'm happy to answer any questions for you. So now we have general information, property details. If you wanted to get in resale information, that's perfectly fine as well. The next one is financials. If we want to put any financials in here, a lot of folks want to know, I have a certain loan in here. I went through a couple different examples. Remember, your loan details is going to be right in this section here. And let me see if I can pull up a highlighter here, right in this section for your loan details. So don't mistake funded reserves and capital reserves interest rate for your loan detail interest rate. That stuff would be down in here. All right. So now we have our financial information. The next thing we want to do is come over to our income. Now, I am not going to go in depth on the income, but if anybody does have any questions, we can answer those questions for you. I like to do a lot of mine through a speed analysis. So as you can see here, I have a speed analysis check. So what is that? Speed analysis is just that. It's a way for us to do a speed analysis. Go figure, that's why we call it that. What it does is we can put our monthly income in here, our annual increases and vacancy. And then the expenses side, we can go ahead and we can put in our annual expenses, annual increases, and annual vacancy. And that'll go ahead and give us our projections based upon just your income and expenses. It does not break down your reimbursements, your renewals, or anything else, and it will not break out your unit mix.
All of that, by the way, was highlighted in detail a couple of weeks ago by Dr. Fisher when he did his detailed financial investment analysis seminar. So if you need to get deeper into that part of it, look back into the blog or into the YouTube video channel, and you can pick that up, or in our user group as well. So you don't need to find that here. I think Matt's we'll cover the high level part of it, but if you need to deep dive, we've got that in the archive.
Yeah, fantastic, Jeff. And I'm not going to be going through this because I want to make sure we use everybody's time wisely. And there's a lot of things we can go with that. Same thing again with expenses. You can come over here and go to speed analysis. Speed analysis will skip you having to do your itemized general expenses and capital expenses. From here at the output, this is where we're going to spend all of our time here today. And if anybody hasn't seen the new cover pages, make sure you check them out. So we have a section over here, and our section is going to be for included reports. Now, included reports is what your broker opinion and value is going to be made up of. I'm also going to be talking about your marketing package or offering memorandum. That is going to be in your included report. So that's going to be your layout or your template. Down here below is going to show your available reports. So anything that we want to have inside of our marketing package or inside of our broker opinion and value will be in here. Any information that came from CRM, Marketplace, or anything we added in the beginning under that general tab, like the picture, if we put any property description, location description, or summary, that information all pulls from those areas. So you wouldn't have all that duplication, and you can simply go ahead and select what cover page you want. So when creating a broker opinion value, you might want to come down here and go to the available reports. From the available reports, you decide what you want to put in. Now, we do have a broker opinion value section in here, but we might want to add some other sections in here. We want to add some supporting documents like sales comps. We want to add some rent comps. We want to put in our professional bio, or maybe we have something about our company. Any one of these available reports can be brought into here. So we have our custom reports. Under here, we have property description or property photos, depending on how in-depth you want. Simply just drag those. We have our mapping. So if you want to show mapping, one of the maps that I like to have in the valuations is business mapping. And I'll kind of go over through some of that. If you want to go through some demographics, that might be great. That's going to be in your maps, aerials, and demographics. Snapshot reports. Maybe you want to break down a unit mix, just depending on how much information you want to have in there. And again, you can go down through each one of these for it. There's also going to be a broker opinion of value module, and that's going to be under module reporting. So it's broker opinion of value. So a couple things in here. So you might want to have your cover page and some supporting documentation, maybe some mapping, and then our broker opinion of value along with a bio. There's a section page in here. Section pages can section it out. So cover sheet, and then we can go through a section page, and I'll walk you through some of that stuff there. So go ahead and select a cover page. You can select your custom cover page if you have a custom cover page under select cover pages. And then in here you have your portrait cover pages, and then you're going to have your landscape. You can see it in two different views. One's a tile view and one's a list view. So if you want to see what the preview looks like on the right-hand side, you can do that. That's a great view. I like the other view because it gives me a little bit bigger thumbnail here for you. So pick your cover sheet you want. Make sure your cover sheet fits, has the proper information. And if you're not sure what information you can highlight, you can simply hit highlight fields, and it will show you what fields you can highlight. If you followed my instructions or the other videos, most of your information will already be in here for you. Now from here, we can put in our section page. Section page for me is important, so it can break things up. Click on section page and hit edit. From the section page, I'll go ahead and change that. Maybe I'm going to put in here comps or supporting documentation. Whatever you want, you can name that. And then if you want to tag a photo in here, which looks really professional, click photo. And then just click on the page right here. Now, if you want to have different styles, you can have different styles of photos in there and just play around them. So we'll just click that one here for the section page. We have our cover sheet. We have our section page. Maybe we want to add another section page in here. So we'll drag that other section page in here. Then we'll bring us down to our sales comps, rent comps, business mapping, and broker opinion of value. All things are really important when you're putting together your broker opinion of value, and I'll also show you how those work. So now we're going to go over here to sales comps, and we're going to go over here to rent comps. Well, Matt, this page is empty. What do I do? Great question. So you can do one of two things. One is while you're going ahead and getting ready to compile your broker opinion of value, you can come over here and you can hit edit page. And then from here, you can hit edit comps. So basically, you can import them this way. Okay, so that's one way you can import them. I'll go through that again. I promise you. So one is you can go ahead and click on rent comps or sales comp, edit page, add comps. You can import them, so import them from Excel, or you can import them from the CRM. We recommend you use the CRM import wizard if you're one of our RealNext Suite subscribers. It's a lot easier to utilize. It has auto mapping and some automated features, or you can simply import them. And if you want to manually add them, you can manually add the comps in here. There's videos and guide me's on that stuff. Another one in here is you can do it over here in the comp manager. And this is what I like to do. I like to do everything in the comp manager beforehand. So if you're like me and you want to do it in the comp manager, it's the same exact way. You can manually add one. You can go ahead and put CRM. You can do import from Excel. And the import from Excel will have required formats for you, and they're samples. So don't feel that you have to be this Excel guru to do it, because I'm definitely not an Excel guru. Once that information is uploaded, just hit edit page, and then these are the available comps. So the top portion is the comps that are available to you, and then the ones down here selected. If you want to add a comp, you just simply select on it, and if you want to remove one, you hit the X in the right-hand corner. Okay. Then there's some additional options. So you can go ahead and you can include charts. You can ungroup them or group them by status, and then include map. Okay, any additional notes, and then add photos, and then adjusted options. There's videos and stuff that will walk you through the comparables, so I'm not going to go through the details of comparables and how to put all the comparables in there. But if you want sales comps, that can be brought in there. If you want rent comps, the rent comp integration's not full inside of the core CRM. So you
Matt, the adjusted analysis, I think, is an important thing to talk about. So just to give you a little bit of just a second on that, how you can talk about attributes of a property being superior or inferior, and how that adjusts to create the as part of the BOV.
Yeah, so then you do have additional values. So you can go ahead and adjust the comps. You might have a certain comp that's going to be superior. You might have a comp that's going to be below average. You might have another comp that's going to be average, and another comp that's going to be inferior that's on here. And you can see the valuations. Now you can adjust the valuations, but I can just keep them standardized. And those will go ahead and adjust your comps that are on that section there. So again, great point on there. So if you want to have an adjusted analysis, because you might not have all identical comparables on there. So the adjusted analysis will walk you through that portion. Again, I like to keep the adjusted values standardized. And then here I just select which one I have on there. So again, you have your options, you have your adjusted analysis, you can select the comps that are inside of there. And again, if you want to have your rent comps in there, you can do that. Now, one of the things that a lot of folks like to do is have recent sales in here. So if you want to have not only your sales comps in here, but a list of recent sales, when you're inside this comp area and you hit edit comps, you can actually select recent. So if you check this box here, recent transaction history, that'll show up on your recent transaction. It's a question I get all the time. How do I show my recent transactions on there? And you would select that recent transaction. So now we selected all our comps, we have our options, and then we have our adjusted analysis here for you. Let's go ahead and save that. So now we have our sales comps, and if we want to view them, we can see that here. If there is no picture, we always recommend adding a picture. You can do that right in the sales comp section. Edit page, select comps, edit your comps, and then from here you can add your photo. Just select your photo right here. So that'll have all your sales comp information for you, and then if you want to show the map, it'll show the information on a map for you, and then it'll also update it. Now, if you have more, I think it does 21 on the map. So if you want to have less than 21, you're fine. If you have more than 21, then you would have to make a custom map. I don't think you're going to have more than 21. That would be a lot. Rent comps, again, if you want to select them, it's the top one here. And then your adjusted analysis is in there as well. So don't forget your adjusted analysis on rent comp and sales comp are going to be different. Okay. Bobby, how are we doing on questions here? Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want me to kind of go over? This is a quiet group here today.
I actually don't see the questions, Jeff, and you do. Okay, I need to make you here. Let me make it so you can go ahead and see this.
I'm sorry, I was muted there. Is there a reason that the edit page button would be missing on an incognito tab?
That would probably be, no, it could be, are you on a Mac? I would wonder if you're on a Mac, that would probably be, Bobby would be a great person to have. No, the edit page should be there. Now, if you're clicking on like the cover sheet, the edit page is gone. So maybe it's just the tab that you're clicking on. That's the only thing I can think of, because I'm in incognito mode too. You can see mine says incognito mode here.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
not
just,
aware of anything.
If you click on,
like maybe the opposite, but not if it was in incognito. Incognito, it definitely should work.
yeah, what we've done, Chanel, is
yeah,
on most pages, the edit is right on the page. And there's a handful of pages that still call for a pop-up of that edit window. So not every page is going to have an edit. You'll actually edit right on the page in most cases now. So that might be what's going on. And is
yeah,
there
and
any
if
way
you can see here, we have,
counts on aerial maps? So as you go through the maps, we don't, you can bring in traffic counts from third parties, but we don't provide the traffic count.
yeah, and I'll show you how to do that, because we're also seeing some people do walk scores. We don't have an integration to walk score. I don't think there's enough people using it, but walk scores have been added into it. And I'll show you how you can add a walk score and stuff like that as well. So if you don't see an edit page, like Jeff said here, we're going to talk about the business mapping next and mapping. But in here, if you hit edit page, it'll pull up the edit. If you don't see the edit, it's probably because it's a section that doesn't have an editing in it. Like business mapping is a perfect example. This one here, instead of hitting the edit page to pop up, everything's editing on the screen itself. So you don't see that, then maybe it's one that can't be edited. I'd have to know that exact page. But nonetheless, business mapping's one. So if you haven't used business mapping, it's fantastic. Business mapping is great, and then I'll show you kind of the 3D portion of business mapping. Business mapping is good, so if we want to show other properties that maybe that's sold. Remember I said that if you want to create the map yourself, this is one way you can create the map. You can also go ahead and put restaurants and police stations or whatever is going to be pertaining to your asset in here. Pick what you want, hit search, and then it will pop up. Unlike a lot of programs out there, we do have your icons in here, so don't. I had a client that went through was scouring every icon for all the retail restaurants and putting them in and wanting to put them in here. We actually have them in here for you, so you don't have to do that. So we're taking some of that legwork out for you. If you want to show the radius circle, you can. If you want to take it off, take it off. I enjoy having it there. Now from here, we can do a couple things. Like I said, you can customize this map. So I really like this map to show comparables on it. I also like to use it for availability for lease. You can go ahead and you can say add text. So you can add text in here, over here in this right side. And then you can also do your own polygon. So if you want to add comparable 1, comparable 2, comparable 3, and do them on your own map to show a bigger map or a smaller map or more detail, you can. It'd take a little bit more work, but it does look absolutely beautiful. Same thing as if you want to zoom in. If you zoom in close enough, everybody asks me, how do you get 3D maps? I want those. If you zoom in close enough, Google just does it magically for us. Okay. If you want to add your own icons, again, for comparables, if you're putting in comps in here, which is business mapping is great for as well, for a customization of that, you can select the marker and custom, and it allows you to do your own custom graphic. Same thing here. If you want to change this one here that I have, like for lease, obviously, if it was comp, it wouldn't be that. But you can go ahead and you can.
A lot of people are having issues here. The audio is definitely breaking up quite a bit. I don't know if Jeff hears the same thing, but I think it was when Jeff was talking as well. So it might actually be a GoToWebinar issue.
Let me switch over to my computer audio here real quick, everyone.
You sound loud and clear, Bobby. So we
Bobby,
apologize.
how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's better, Matt.
Okay, yeah. You know, I know a lot of people are at home right now and the bandwidth is probably getting taken down in our office. I know my system runs a little bit slower. So I switched over to my computer instead of having my voice over IP phone. So again, the mapping section in there is fantastic for you to take all your maps in there. And then we're going to get into the broker opinion and value. So broker opinion and value, if you click on here, hit edit page. When you hit the edit page in here, we're going to come up with a couple options. If you don't see edit page in there, make sure you give support a message up in the upper right hand corner. So a couple options. One is, remember, you can change the broker opinion and value name. So if you want to call this, a Jeff Babbis evaluation, you can do that. If you want to show a summary report, the investment method report, or the comparison method, you check those boxes. I'll kind of go over those with you. In the summary report, you're going to put in the summary description. It's really kind of basic. Same thing with your income. Now we can come up with the income method we came up with, and then in here we're going to choose a cap rate. In here we give you tips too. Usually a higher cap, usually a lower cap, and this is going to determine the spread. And I'll show you where it has the aggressive and so forth on there. And then the comparison method. How do we come up with a comparison? How do we come up with our comps? Any subject notes, that's our subject property, and then additional comps for each one of our comps that are on there. Okay. Once you go ahead and hit save, then that information will display. So your first page is going to show your conservative, average, and aggressive. So this number came off of, this number right here came off of your cap rate range that you put in there. I put a 7 to 9 cap, and that's where that information came into here. Same thing for you. If you change those cap rates in that edit page in here under income method, that information will change. So if we put, a 6 cap here and we put a 4 cap, that'll change those numbers in there. Change those numbers.
If you had an in-depth property description, that would show up above this as a summary, which you can cut and paste from outside. If you'd written a report, you can.
Yeah, just so you can see some of that information that's going to be in there. So there's your property summary information. Whoops. Wow, I didn't know that. That's actually a hyperlink too. That's pretty neat. I think Tim said he's put in hyperlinks and stuff here. So
yep.
Yeah, so your summary report information will be right on there. And then you have your broker opinion value. Now, next is if you went ahead and you check those boxes, if you come down here, now we're going to see our broker opinion value with our income method. So this is going to talk about our income breakdown here. It's going to talk about scheduled income, it's our vacancy, any management fees, and so forth. So if you did a speed analysis, I would probably skip this. If you're going to itemize your income and expenses, then this is something that is always good to break down. And then again, it comes your income valuation analysis. In here, you have your conservative, average, and aggressive. And then if you want to put any other information in there, you can do that. Same thing with comparison. And then down here, it's going to have your comparison section. Here's our comps that we have in here. Here's our adjusted comps. Here's an adjustment type. Remember where Jeff mentioned before on the comps, if we go back in the comp section, you have your average, your inferior and superior, I can't even say. This is where your amounts would go into here, right here. So if you wonder why Jeff was talking about it in the rent comp section, that's important because we have our subject A property. This is inferior, this is a superior, and this is an average one. We want to know that. We want to know what the adjusted amount is. So that way it adjusts on here for evaluation. So really important that you go ahead and you have that. So that sales comp information or that rent comp information will show over in here into that sales comp section there for you. If you don't want to show those pages, just come over here to go to report options, take them off, and your broker opinion values right here. Now you can move these areas around and come up with your broker opinion value like, and then as Jeff was mentioning, if you want to add something else here, like we don't do traffic counts, but this here is an available space report that I was doing as a test. What you can do is just drag your attachment over here for PDF, hit edit page, and you can upload, and you can see it formats exactly to the page. And if you need to adjust that format, you can. There's a guide that walks you through this, but this is where you can put your traffic counts. This is where you can put your walk score and everything else. Once you get the layout that you like, come over here and select templates. Type in the information, hit save as new. Don't click update. If you put in here, like I have a beautiful multifamily package, I have a bunch of different packages in here. Sometimes I do a lot of things, I multitask, and I hit update and I'm like, oh no, I just had a 68-page marketing package I created and I hit update. Just hit save as new. And then that way you can load it from now on. So these templates are fantastic. That way you can have your broker opinion value. Maybe you have like a limited broker opinion value, or you have a complex broker opinion value. That way you can use it each and every time and just hit load. Like mine is just a cover sheet, broker opinion value, and professional buy on this one here. Now, how do we get our evaluation out to our clients? A couple different ways. One is you can go ahead and save it as a PDF. So real simple, just save it as a PDF, and everybody knows how to do that. Another one is a digital PDF. So you can send your client a link so they can go through that valuation and see that information there. Another one is to email it. So if you want to email it directly out of here, you can email it out of here, blind copy yourself, which means you're going to get an email from us along with that attachment so you can download it. All right. So how are we doing on questions? So audio is breaking up. I'll talk about some of these other things in here. Sorry about the audio, everybody.
There's a question about right clicks, and the right click shortcuts are really for the CRM. All of these options that you see here, there are some, but they are like if you go over to that summary down below in the summary and you clicked on summary, you can edit there, so you can edit on the screen with the right click, or just click, and you have that option. But the right click shortcuts are really mainly in the CRM database management. But Matt, if you just want to show how, like on that summary, you can edit that summary real quick, down on the right corner of the page.
Yep.
Yeah. So you just click, you can change the label or change the data.
Yeah, if you want to see something really neat, this is, I didn't understand it until yesterday. These three little dots over here are pretty cool. If you want to change anything on here, so if you want to change the description to a map, you can now. So we've done a lot in here. You can actually add your own stuff in there. I just wiped out my title, but that's all right. But these
So we call these widgets. So we have wherever it's the cover pages are designed to have different sections. You can pick whatever type of widget you want, whether it's a map, a picture, a paragraph, or bullets, or data from the system. The one thing that's really locked is the main picture and the structure of the page. Although we can create custom cover pages and designs that have the widgets wherever you want them to be. And then on interior pages, we've got custom pages that can be created with different formats. And again, you pick the widget and put it where you want it.
Yeah, so again, you can create a bunch of different templates in here. You can select different cover pages, different valuations. You can change the colors on there. So if you want to change any of your colors on these reports, you can change your different colors on here for each one. So there's a lot of different customization pieces you can have. Don't forget, you can load the templates now. I'm not sure how we're doing on time, Jeff, but
so Matt, just quickly, so just with a click of a button now, show how you change what was a BOV. You made the BOV, you won the business. Now you want to make an OM to send to a client.
Yeah, and this is where I talked about in the beginning, Jeff, is if you slow down that process and we put in some of that information, now we've literally created a full marketing package. Now I have my template already created, and I have a bunch of different templates, retail templates, I have hospitality templates and so forth. And really those templates are taking those available reports and populating in here and then saving as a template. But they're information that you created in your cover sheet and your whole valuation, especially if you've done the whole analysis, now is available for you in your complete marketing package. So you're not putting together a ton more in your marketing package. I've added in here my marketing package, a unit mix. Well, my unit mix is already broken down for me. So I'm not doing anything. It's already automated. I have in here my charts and graphs like you did well. That's already automated for me. The only thing that you've done is added up to it. You're not having to add any additional information. Your comps for supporting documentation has already been created in your broker opinion and value. Your executive summary has already been created from your valuation. Your demographics are getting pulled from the Census Bureau, so it's in there for demographics. Your business mapping is already created if you created that information. So you're creating a beautiful marketing package within a matter of a very short period of time without re-entering the information. Now, if you need to go back and adjust anything that you adjust in the financials, income, or expenses, will repopulate. Again, you're not having to create the wheel every single time. Now you can then save this as a PDF, email it to your client, or e-publish it. And if you're utilizing RealNex, you can go ahead and you can put it into our email marketing program and send it out that way if you want to get the information out, or anything else that you need to do.
Matt, if you would, let's go to a photo page and show how you create photo pages, how you add, remove, create different display
Okay,
panels.
yeah. So one is you might want to have a lot of photos. So the first one is if you have a main photo in here, you can resize it. So if you want to resize, just click on the line and resize it. You can come over here and you can add and remove a link. You can fit it to the window, or you can go ahead and fit to photo. If you want to add a new photo, select photo. Now that's going to go throughout the whole program. If you want to add more photos, you just come over here and you say property photos. Now that's going to be available down in here in your available reports, but drag it. From here, again, you don't see edit page. So if you don't see edit page, it means you edit it on here. If you want to add multiple pages for photos, you just hit add page. And then when you're on each one of these, you can select and upload those photos. Now, if you come over here and you see where I selected on here, it says 1. Well, what if I want 5 photos? You can do up to 6 photos in here. That edit part populates as soon as you click on this. So as soon as I click on here, I hit cancel. You can see here now I can delete that page, or I can change that layout. But you can add a lot of different photos. And I made this one as an example, so you can see here's 3 photos, and then here's 1 photo. And then again, if you click on it, you just hit delete page, and that'll delete that page for you.
So you can delete page, or you can just delete the photo. If you wanted to swap a photo, you click on the photo, there's a trash can, delete the photo, and you can add a new one into that.
Yeah, and then one thing that we were talking about with the client yesterday, where they said, look, Matt, I love your cover sheets, but I want to do something a little bit different for this one. It was just for a one-off property. If you come over here down at the bottom and you say customize pages and you click new page, you can click custom page. You can use this as your cover page. You can use this for anything you want. You can even make your own valuation in here if you want to copy and paste things. You say select layout, and then you can decide what your layout is. So if you want to show 2 title boxes, something like this, where in here we're going to have our title, then we want to have a paragraph, and then we want to have a map. Then we want to have another one where we're going to say this is going to be additional text, and then we want to show in here available spaces, and then we want to show a photo. You can do so you can create your own pages. So really neat things you have in there. And again, I'm going to load up my blank template because I created one in here. It should say blank. Yep. Let's go ahead and load that. So we're going to load blank. You can go from a blank page to loading that broker opinion to value and have their information in, to creating that valuation, to then loading a listing presentation. So we can come over here and we can say listing presentation. And then from our listing presentation, we can turn that into a marketing package. We're not re-entering the information. We're just going from one layout to another layout to another layout. And all that information's in there for you.
And if you change the cover page from this portrait to landscape, your book changes. So you can pick your design. If you prefer a landscape, great. If you like portrait, great. Whatever you do, we resize, reformat, restructure. And then you come in and you can customize as needed.
Yeah, if you're old school like me, remember that is not in your options anymore. If you go in here to options and you go and hey, how do I get to a landscape? And you're looking through here and you're like, I'm just not seeing it. Now it's just select cover page. So now you can select your landscape cover page in here. So don't go to options and try to find it in options. I did that when it first was put in there and I never found it. So don't spend all the time like I did on there.
The other thing to note is right now you see on the bottom left that Newmark logo is in white. If that field was white, you wanted to pick the color logo, you just pop open the logo picker and you can change it to the color version of the logo. So you typically have multiple versions of your logo in there and you can modify and tweak it to fit, and you can you make sure it looks the best based on the structure of the page. And you can customize these pages to your own personal design. So if we give you, I think right now we're up to 45 different design templates that are out of the box that all inherit your color and your logo based on your settings. But if you have a different design, we've got designs built in for Cushman and Wakefield or Colliers or Marcus or NAI and others. Those are would be part of, only if you're part of that organization would you be able to have access to those different branded cover sheets. And if you'd like a specific design, we can tweak and modify to meet your look and feel.
Well, that's an introduction to broker opinion and values. We went kind of in depth. Now there's other sections to walk you through. Again, Guide Me is a huge help. It allows me to not watch a video, and I like to go through here. We do have videos for you, and they're all in the video library. So if you enjoy videos, they're there, or you can do them both in correlation with each other, along with the Guide Me, and then the videos.
Matt, is there a limit to the number of photos you can have for each project?
Yeah, I think there is. I don't know what it is. I've never gotten to that, but I know there's a limit on how many pages you can add. So
well, I think there's 5 pages, and I think you can put 5 or 6 photos on a page. So I think
so there's 1, 2, 3.
It's actually apparently 36 photos per project, but yes.
That's right, 6 by 6. 6 pages and 6 photos per page is the max. So yeah, you can, yeah, so that's the limit, and that's per project. And each project has its own photo library. So that's not your limit across all of your portfolio. That's just for that particular project. And if you wanted to, and you had a photo page that you set up as a PDF, you can add 25 PDFs, and each PDF can be a 10-page PDF. So you could have any number of photos if you wanted. It's just not through the auto-generated page structure.
Yeah, and then one of the questions here was, what tools are available for your broker opinion value? Well, I mean, all the tools are here. Depends on what you want. So calculation and graphs. You can choose, quite frankly, whatever is in here. So any of these available reports, and you might want to just start dragging a few up here and see what they look like. And to see what they look like, you just click on that report. Like, here's demographics, or here's my income and expenses. What does that look like? Or here's my executive summary. You can see what it looks like, and if you don't like it, just select the X and take it off. But again,
the BOV module, there is a module for BOV which has it consolidates your comps, the selected comps, and averages that. It consolidates your financials with your market-based cap rate scenario. It consolidates that with your summary information, and it presents it in a professional way to put that BOV module. As Matt's saying, you can put as much supporting data behind it of photos, maps, comps, area information, detailed financials, and whatever else you'd like to add to it to beef it up. So often the BOV is part of a full proposal, and so you can make the proposal with your marketing plan, and we talked about that last week, where you have your professional bio and your strategy for marketing, your review of the asset, including the BOV. But if just to do the BOV, it really is one concise module with financial metrics of income valuation and comparable valuation, and your summary analysis of that.
And just so everybody knows too, for clarification purposes, everything that I'm showing you here in this template and everything is 100% factory. So it means it comes everything in here. There's no additional cost to access any of these sections here. Your cover pages, I'm using a standard cover page in here. This is my favorite one, so I use it all the time. Broker opinion value is that condensed module Jeff said. But if you want to pull up any other information in there, all that's available to you. So one of the questions was, all the reports showing in your package on the left built in the program? Yes. I don't want to show you anything that you have to pay for additionally.
And the calculations and graphs, I mean, there's a dozen of them. So any of those graphs down on the lower left, you can pop open, Matt, the graphs that you can include, and the calculation reports. You just drag and drop and add them. If whichever ones you want to add in, you can add those into the module.
Yeah, and there is custom cover sheets. There is a charge for it. I think it's $3.99 for the first cover sheet, and additional cover sheets it's $1.99. And then you can just go ahead and you can just email myself, msmith@realnext.com, and I'll make sure you get your supporting documents so we can get you a quote on that to create that for you. But really inexpensive to create your cover sheets. But we do have a lot in here that are no cost to you. And then one of the questions here is really good. So I have a broker opinion value. The file size is over 20 megabytes. Well, we're doing everything we can do to get a condensed PDF. So there's a couple things you can do. One is you can go ahead and you can say e-publish. So we don't want to send somebody a 20+ megabyte file. You can go e-publish. So what does that mean? That means we're going to view our publication and link. That's one way to go ahead and do it. Now it's complete digital. So your clients don't have to download anything. They can simply just select that link and they can see all that information right there. Another way to do it is there are websites.
Well, there's also another benefit to using the ePublish. If you make any changes to your analysis at any point, those will actually reflect in that link in the future. So when you actually publish a PDF document, that's a one-time snapshot. But when you use the ePublish in here, it'll keep updating. If you add any additional details to it or add any additional reports, your client will then be able to log in and see that those updates immediately.
Yeah, fantastic, and that's another good point of having that information. There's also websites out there you can go to, like PDF Shrink or something like that. So if our PDFs are still big, it could be numerous things. It could be due to your resolution of your photos, but you want to keep high resolution photos. You can go to like PDF Shrink or one of those websites out there. I don't know. I'm not a webmaster. I just use Google, and it tells me one, and I upload my PDF, and it shrinks it down sometimes.
But that ePublish is really the best alternative.
Yeah, 100% it is. And that link can be copied. So when I did the ePublication, that link can be copied for this, and you just click copy link, and then you can paste it anywhere. You can paste it inside a marketplace. You can put it in your email marketing campaigns, anything you really want to do. You can put that ePublication. So, and it's not just for broker opinion values. A lot of clients that I have now are doing it for full marketing packages. They're using their ePublication just in case there is maybe the vacancy is not there anymore, or maybe that there's a price reduction. Now they don't have to send out a whole new marketing package. They just update the information in here, and it's updated automatically for the client. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed this presentation, introduction to broker opinion and values. We know that you're probably going to be doing more in these next couple months than you ever have in your whole entire life. And we're getting a lot of great feedback on our solutions and streamlining those processes for you. If you're utilizing our CRM program, keep a watch out for more Brunch with Bobby. That'll show you how to integrate this and automate a lot of these processes that you might be doing manually to streamline for other things here.
There are a couple of other questions for the different property types. We do have, it's primarily commercial or residential, and then under commercial, whether it's retail, office, industrial, it allows you to put in the detailed tenant mix. So you can go lease by lease for the term with assumptions for renewal, TI, expenses to renew. When it's residential, whether it was a question about RV or multifamily or residential or even hospitality, you can have unit mix. So it's not as particularly custom designed for hospitality, but you can work through it with the module at a unit mix level, and based on the cash flow analysis that you get from the hotel. But there's one for RV or the other. Even there are people that are doing it for single family rental communities now. People have put together portfolios of single family residential. You can model out each one of them as if they were an apartment or a residential unit in a multifamily development. So there are ways to work with the different types, but the main variance is that difference of how we're dealing with the unit mix versus the tenant mix analysis.
So Jeff, where would someone get a refresher on this presentation or other prior presentations or future ones that are coming up?
There's a few things we really encourage everyone to do. In Facebook, we've started a user group community. Please join that. Just go to the Real Next page and look for the groups, and there's a Real Next user forum. Ask to join that, and we have that. All of the archived sessions are there. Plus, Bobby and Matt and David and others are monitoring that. So as you have questions throughout the day or week, post those questions, and we can come up and answer them in real time. We also have a YouTube channel which has all of our video, whether it's a webinar or the user group or the brunch with Bobby's are all there in our webinars. Matt's on the website. We have the beginning, and we have the library to start there, but when you click on all, it's going to take you to the YouTube channel and give you all of that background there. In our blog under our media, we sort of highlight these with links to presentation decks and video, so you have all of that to access for background and legacy content as well. Just as a reminder, this week we have accelerated sales processes using deal rooms, the Real Next deal room in MarketEdge on Thursday, and we also have a great third-party sort of just educational webinar, not a product webinar, but a friend of the organization, Blaine Strickland, CCIM, is an author of a new book called Adapt. He's presenting for us highlights from his book about disruption and how the real estate industry is being disrupted, and how you're ready to adapt to it. So a very timely topic and series, and just more value to help as we go through this current cycle and come out the other side. And there's a lot of work to be done. As you know, people that were through the last cycle know that there was a tremendous amount of work that needed to be done with renegotiating leases, working with BOVs, as Matt talked about, and helping people understand the new value of the property, bringing new reality to the current world, and helping them position their properties for sale, refinance, or restructuring their debt or otherwise. So a ton of work to be done for the top real estate professionals like you in the market, and we're here to help with our technology and tools to enable you to do it as efficiently as possible. We also have great virtual tours. The new world is looking like a final time of prominence for virtual tours. Everyone's always wanted to be real time, real life, and working in tours, but you can actually do virtual tours with your client. So get online, work with them, walk them through a tour, but do it virtually. Save time, save money, save travel, and keep this social distancing as needed during the time where you have to, but you're able to show property even before it exists with our virtual reality tools that we have. So we're excited about all of these services that we've got, and all of your support. So we appreciate your time. Thank you, Matt, for joining us as a special guest. Thanks, Bobby, for giving up one of your slots here and bringing Matt in, and bringing David in on Thursday. And it looks like we are all good to go with questions, and appreciate everyone's time. Let you get back to it, and we will hopefully see you on Thursday.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
I appreciate the break. Thank you, Matt, and thank you to David next week, and thank you to everybody else.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.